So we're going to talk about a couple of different limits from this graph. There are multiple discontinuities here. There's one here at -5, here at -4, and here at +4. So let's start by focusing at -5. So at -5, when I'm thinking about the limit, and notice that I don't have a direction here. I don't have that little plus or minus, which means I'm looking at the overall limit, not just from the left or just from the right. But when I look at when x is -5, from the left, we're approaching a y value of -5. From the right, we're approaching a y value of -3. Since those two values are not equal to each other, that means that this limit does not exist. If you were asked to justify or explain why that's the case, you could simply say, like, the limit as x approaches -5 from the left of f of x does not equal the limit as x approaches -5 from the right of f of x. You can write it exactly like this or explain that same information in a sentence. This is different than f of -5. F of -5 is asking, when x is -5, what is the defined y value of the function? And for that, we look at where there's a closed circle. Here there is one closed circle, and that has a y value of -3. There are some similarities here between when x is -5 and when x is -4. However, the limit as x approaches -4, I forgot to write, of f of x, this limit does exist, because if I look at from the left and from the right, I see that both sides are approaching this open circle. And it doesn't matter that it's an open circle, because it's the same y value that's being approached from the left side of the curve and the right side. So in this case, the limit as x approaches -4 is here at a y value of -2, which is not the same answer as f of -4. Here, I'm looking for a closed circle or an actual defined point. So when x is -4, there's a closed circle here at a y value of -4. There's also a discontinuity when x is +4. We can tell that there's a vertical asymptote here. So that means a couple of things. First of all, it means that, let me write this over here, f of 4 is undefined. There is not an actual y value when x is +4. The function is not defined anywhere on this x value. The limit as x approaches 4 of f of x, we could either say is d and e, because they're approaching positive infinity, or because they're both approaching positive infinity, we could say that that is the limit. But anytime that you have functions approaching infinity or negative infinity, you can always write d and e instead.